Hey guys, it's me SonicFan5200. I was going to use my real voice for this, but I have a bit of a cold so I don't feel like talking, but I'm still going to get this rant across. This rant is about Realm Wars Klonoa's Dream Bullet series.
Alrighty then.
I have quite some issues with this series that I personally think need to be addressed. First of all, the notable problem is the voices are hard to hear.
I'm gonna have to agree with him here. The voices in Klonoa Dream Bullet are sometimes pretty hard to hear. And how is one able to follow the story if he or she can't hear everything the characters are saying? Unfortunately, that was the one point where I ever agree with him.
I had to turn my volume up to full blast in order to hear them, but then again my ears were raped by the annoying music.
Would you prefer no music at all? Because here's a clip from a series made by Summoner87, and I'm sure you'll just love it. Yeah, quite boring, isn't it?
Still, that just makes the episode unwatchable, although it's not like the voices are good anyway. Another problem is that her animation doesn't look that fluent. That is, compared to something like Super Mario Bros. I just think you need to make it more fluent like Alvin Earthworm does with his flash animations, and it'd be more interesting to watch.
Well, not everyone can be like Alvin Earthworm. You do realize this, right? And just because a series has animation that isn't quite up to par doesn't exactly make it bad. I think you should be more concerned if the story itself is interesting or not, because that's what matters the most here.
I was also disappointed with the story. Seriously, the story seems like a Dragon Ball Z knockoff.
A Dragon Ball Z knockoff, you say? That sounds like a series that you mentioned before. It's just too bad I can't remember what it was. And by the way, I don't know what version of Klonoa Dream Bullet you watched, but the one that I watched didn't really remind me a whole lot of Dragon Ball Z, except maybe the sound effects.
You couldn't come with something more original? Now on to the sprites. The sprites you use are unappealing. Seriously, those sprites are horrible. I'm pretty sure there's better ones out there, but instead you just use whatever you find as usual.
Care to elaborate why the sprites are bad? Or at least give some suggestions or screenshots of sprites that he can replace them with? Anything?
Now on to the biggest complaint, and this one's a big one. The cast of characters. My biggest complaint is you're making a Flash series with no Sonic.
And this is a problem why?
Why not? Sonic would bring something like this to life. Yet
How?
you decide not to let him be in it and replace him with a nobody character.
What's the problem with using a supposedly underrated character so he can get some more publicity? Not to mention using a character that isn't as popular as Sonic is slightly more original.
Seriously, Sonic would have made a bigger impact with a series. Which is weird, because you won't use Sonic, yet you use Klonoa. I mean, Klonoa is just a Sonic wannabe. He looks a lot like him, so I choose him over Sonic.
Again, why does it matter? Why do you care so much?
Seriously, this was a really stupid choice you made. Also, I have Knights and not Sonic. They're both made by the same people, so why? Seriously, your series won't get popular if Sonic isn't in it. It will just remain on the bottom with videos made by CrazyTime77 and possibly Joshua8428, and that's a very bad thing that I'm pretty sure you don't want. Why go away from what you were doing before? Making sprite animations with Sonic is what you do best. So why change it to something that's not going to be as effective, if not effective at all?
'Cause he wanted to try something new?
Ever since you heard of Klonoa, you've been making bad decision after bad decision, even going as far as to referencing him in your commentaries. No.
You're making such trivial things seem like they're ruining Realm Wars' quality. Why is it such a big deal? If he wants to reference Klonoa in his commentaries, then let him. 'Cause it sounds to me he just wants to give his commentary something new and fresh.
Nobody is going to get your jokes if you do nothing but reference Klonoa. Being will understand Sonic more because everyone has played Sonic and will understand what you're talking about. Just enough of Klonoa and go back to making videos about Sonic, because those videos were awesome.
Dude, who are you to say that? Who are you to say that he should just make one particular video only? Dude, he has a choice, okay? Keyword here, a choice on whether or not to make those certain kinds of videos. There's a difference between ordering someone to make a video and just requesting someone to make a video. And what you're doing is ordering. And it just shows that you are really pretentious and selfish.
Also, the jokes for Klonoa's Dream Bullet aren't even that funny. The only character in that series who's even funny is Deadpool, but even his jokes only last a while until they fade away and become unfunny.
Well, humor is in the eye of the beholder.
This series just isn't funny at all. Were you even trying when it came to making jokes? Because to be perfectly honest, it looked like you couldn't come up with anything. This is why you should have just stopped when doing strike shorts, because when you do stuff like this it ends up being completely terrible and not like your stuff. I'll admit I thought it was awesome at first, but after watching it a couple of times I got incredibly tired of it. Also,
So you pretty much just suddenly thought it was shit. No offense, but that kind of gives me the vibe that you're just doing all this just to get attention.
so you have this on both YouTube and Lit TV. Why? I thought Lit was for commentaries only. Why are you uploading this on other sites, considering it's not even good on YouTube?
Probably because he wanted more than one way to get his series across to some potential viewers.
Not to mention, why is the show's intro so long? Compare that to his intro for commentaries, which is like 7 seconds long. The intro to Klonoa's Dream Bullet is over a minute and 20 seconds. You think that's enough?
Dude, many series out there, fan-made or not, have more than 1 minute long intros. And the reason why commentaries or rant series intros aren't so long is because people are only interested in the rants or the commentaries. They want to get straight to the point. Whereas an intro in a series like Klonoa Dream Bullet is all part of the show. And intros to series like Klonoa Dream Bullet sometimes help viewers get a little fired up about what's to come.
Not to mention the theme music isn't even good anyway. It's all jumpy and happy when the plot you were going for was supposed to be funny but being able to take it seriously.
Funny, but being able to take it seriously. I don't know about you, but a happy kind of intro music sounds like the perfect candidate for a plot like that. I mean, did you look over what you just said? You said the plot was supposed to be funny, but being able to take it seriously, and a huge keyword here was funny.
Also, the audio is very poorly edited since I could hear when the music cuts off where you made the edits. Looks like you've got a ton of work to do. I also heard you've gotten the whole idea for the series beforehand. Yeah, right. Nobody can have an idea for an entire series already. Also, I'd like to talk about the logo.
Dude, it really doesn't seem like you put a whole lot of thought into the organization of this rant. You just keep jumping from topic to topic without any kind of structure whatsoever. I mean, how do we jump from discussing on how we got the idea for the series to the logo? And hell, just a moment ago it sounded like you were about to conclude your rant. Not a whole lot of people are going to take you seriously with a really jumbled, scrambled mess like this.
The series logo looks like it took 20 seconds in Photoshop. I know it was done in Photoshop because it says so on his DeviantArt. Seriously, put more time into the logo.
Any tips? Pointers? Concept designs? Anything?
Also, how come Agent 1 isn't in this either? You make your own character, yet you don't even make a series for him?
Again, I have to say, that's his choice, man.
He doesn't have to exist in just his manga. Besides, Agent 1 is more badass than Klonoa anyway, so it's all the better reason to use him. Also, how come there's barely any blood? You're famous for having very gory stuff in your flesh animations. I mean, look at what Agent 1 does to the guy he fights. He goes Kratos on their ass in the most badass fashion.
So, blood and gore are things that help make a series good. Well, then by your logic, Sonichu must kick some serious ass.
I also believe I'm not the only one who has said something like this. Well, it's glad to hear I'm not the only one with these concerns. Until these changes are met, I don't even want to know what the other episodes are like.
Well, this series wasn't made for just you, so too bad.
You need to change everything, and it should be fine.
So you just want him to scrap everything that he's worked on so far. And then it would be good. How the hell does that make any sense whatsoever?
Also, I don't understand why you don't just have Sonic fan characters either.
Simple, because he doesn't want any Sonic fan characters in it.
They're not optional, so it won't hurt anybody.
What about the creators of the fan characters themselves? What if they don't want their fan characters to be in a series that wasn't created by them?
I know you want this series to be great, but seeing how there's so many things wrong with it, it'll never be the glorious masterpiece you want it to be. Also, why don't you get professional voice actors instead of the cast you have right now? I think someone like Masako X could do a good Klonoa Lunacator, could do a great Deadpool, but instead you get people you think are only good enough.
Dude, I'm pretty damn sure that people like Masako X get tons and tons and tons of requests to do voice work for some other people's series all the friggin' time. So just getting him won't be that easy. The only thing that Realm Wars can do is post auditions at a place like the Voice Acting Club or whatever, and just let the people who do voice work come to him. Unless he knows a couple voice actors already, and he could just PM them asking if they're willing to do a certain role. And when holding auditions, sometimes you just have to settle with what you got. Because you can only hold them for so long.
Now for music. You seem to like to use orchestra, which doesn't seem to fit the mood much. You need epic stuff like Metallica and Linkin Park. That'll really make a scene epic.
Dude, do you know how many times both bands have been used in AMVs? Linkin Park has to be the most generic choice you can ever make for picking music for an epic fight scene or whatever. Orchestrated music is a more original choice and works just as well. In fact, I can think of two things that orchestrated music really helped in making something epic: Dragon Ball Kai and Star Fox Assault. And let's not forget the Halo series.
Also, some Sonic music won't hurt much.
'Cause Open Your Heart, His World, and Live and Learn are totally not overused in AMVs and final battle scenes, am I right?
The music is what sets the mood. However, orchestra never sets the mood. In fact, it's mostly very, very boring. I mean, hearing stuff that sounds like Mozart puts people to sleep.
That is a huge, huge generalization. Not all orchestrated music sounds like Mozart. And as for orchestrated music being boring, bullshit. That's all I can say. Bullshit.
You need more hardcore music and everyone should be happy and energized by it.
Dude, this series wasn't made for just you. Stop making it seem that your suggestions are the only way to go.
After all, the series is supposed to have some energetic stuff in, right? Seriously, with all this you could have created a new Super Mario Bros. Z, but instead it's only crap that barely gives Joshua 8428 competition. Either make these changes or just stick to commentaries. It seems like the only thing you can do apparently if you won't make any other sprite animations than this. I am very disappointed. You made this sound really epic during your announcements, but I guess the Sonic cycle had to be replaced with some kind of cycle. This is honestly how I feel, and I feel like this was the most dumbest thing you've ever thought of.
Are you serious? Most dumbest? You want to be taken seriously, yet you just said the most dumbest.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Sonic on crack and hilarious sprite skits owns this series without even trying. Those are things you should be working on because they never got old. This, however, you watch the episode once you are completely bored because of everything I stated. When will you just stop changing things and just stay with what you were doing? People were happy with it, and nobody bitched. However, this on the other hand is just a disaster and should be dealt with before you make a complete idiot of yourself. Hopefully you take what I say into consideration and make these changes. This is SonicFan5200 signing off. Okay, I've had enough. This is to all those people who left negative comments on my last video. Obviously that last video wasn't as good as my others, but at least it's better than what I was ranting on.
The first of many pretentious comments to come.
I mean seriously, why do so many people like Klonoa's Dream Bullet? I mean the flaws with the series were so blatantly obvious. I don't understand why so many people get mad at me for just pointing the obvious out.
It's because you were being a smug prick about it. You weren't really criticizing Realm Wars. You were pretty much just say, do this, do that, do this, do that. I order you to. It should be this way. You weren't really requesting him or suggesting anything. You were just flat out ordering him to do it.
I mean, you see people do it in commentaries all the time. I gave that video in a mature and professional manner, but it seems you guys can't be pleased unless everything is perfect. Seriously, Klonoa's Dream Bullet is the most retarded thing ever. It's worse than Crazy Time 77's videos. I am dead serious. Now to respond to certain users. First one is Adams Lee. You basically said Sonic is an overrated and overused character. Bullshit. Sonic deserves all the publicity he got.
Guess you also mean the countless waves of bad publicity, right?
He's done a lot more than other video games have done. I mean, compare that to how many Klonoa games there are. Sonic is obviously better.
Ever think of quality and not quantity? And besides, Sonic has had quite a head start on Klonoa, so of course he's gonna have more games. But that doesn't automatically make him better.
Also, without him wanting to do something different. Well, then why does the AVGN do nothing but make video game reviews?
And movie reviews, sketches, blogs, a collaboration with the Nostalgia Critic. Yeah, he does nothing but video game reviews.
You see how stupid that is? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So obviously your points are completely flawed and retarded. Now to Rocket Echidna. Boy, do I have a lot to say. He starts by saying nobody is happy. No shit. Why should I be happy about a series that is completely utterly horrible? Also, you bring up that I bring up no positive points. Why should I?
'Cause then your video wouldn't be as biased as it was.
There's nothing positive about that shitty series and it should just burn in hell. Also about how you say people are always comparing stories to other stories. That argument was completely killed though, seeing as you used a shitty movie like Avatar for your argument. Next time try something better, dumbass.
Just because you think Avatar is a bad movie doesn't make Rocket Echidna's argument invalid. People do constantly compare and contrast stories. People compare Dragon Ball to Journey to the West, people compare Bleach to Yu Yu Hakusho, and I can easily compare the backstories of Racer X from Speed Racer and Proto Man from Mega Man. They're both brothers of the main protagonist, they both became nomads under certain circumstances, and they both help out the main protagonist whenever a situation looks absolutely hopeless without a second man.
Then you say how everyone uses Klonoa rips off Sonic. Well, of course he does. If he didn't, then why would he look so similar to him?
Well, what about his personality? His main goals? His backstory? Anything? Just because a character looks similar to another doesn't automatically make him a ripoff.
Namco was busy looking for cheap bucks, so they got lazy and made Klonoa. What other reason was there to make him?
To have a franchise other than Pac-Man, maybe?
Klonoa is just trying to steal Sonic's thunder.
Care to elaborate on how and why?
Then you say at least praise the guy for trying. Trying at what? Trying at making a very shitty series? Why would I want to praise someone for making a series which is unappealing to everyone who's watched it?
You are not everyone. You are one person who happens to dislike a series that a whole lot of other people happen to like. And so far, I haven't seen one single solitary person that has ever agreed with you on this. So no, Dream Bullet is not a series that is unappealing to everyone who has watched it.
It's a shitty series and anybody who thinks it's good is blind and stupid.
Do you have any idea how much people are thinking that you're a pretentious dick at this point? Anyone who doesn't agree with you is stupid. Wow. You're not going to make a whole lot of people agree with you with an attitude like that, man.
Get that through your heads now! Now for this comment which I was surprised who it was from. The Whoosy one is gay, snapped at me for calling Klonoa a nobody character. Think about it for a second. Why does Klonoa only have 6 games? Why does nobody know about him? If he was somebody he would be noticed more and people would be talking about him, but fortunately people don't know him and he is what he is. Completely nothing. I don't get why you guys can't seem to understand my thoughts.
Oh, trust me, we understand your thoughts completely. You think Klonoa is absolutely no one who doesn't deserve any kind of fan praise or fan works at all, and you think Realm Wars series sucks because it doesn't have Sonic the Hedgehog in it. Now, what we don't get is why you don't get why people are ragging on you so much. And the reason why is that you take pretty nice constructive criticism and just throw it right back into their face. Insulting them, calling them retarded, saying that everyone who disagrees with you is an idiot. You were bound to get people to pick on you.
They are my opinion and I would like it if it was respected as one.
Dude, you just said a moment ago that everyone who disagrees with you is automatically wrong and an idiot. You're treating your opinion as if it's a fact. How are we supposed to respect that?
Instead you guys act like biased assholes.
Look who's talking.
Yes, because Realm Wars' name was brought up for that rent. Of course that's how fanboys are. Seriously, get it through your heads. He should be working on his old style of videos and nothing more. Even his commentaries are starting to get dry. I mean, he doesn't insult people a lot like he used to. Him insulting people is what made his commentaries hilarious. Instead he's toning it down and going for a more critical approach. Going soft on people isn't how you change them. What happened to your walls?
Commentaries are not just about insulting people. Sure, a few jokes here and there can help make said commentary enjoyable, but the whole point of a commentary is to try to help the person who is being commentated on. If you did nothing but insult the person, it will just look like you're looking for someone to hate rather than trying to help them.
Did they shrink back into the little vagina you have? Since when did the almighty Realm Wars become a pussy? That's what you are eating right now, big fat goddamn pussy. You don't clean up your act and you change for the worst. That is what you will be from now on. I am fed up with your changes and you seriously need to get a grip on reality for once in your pathetic life. Your actions are canon and chaos worthy. Unfortunately, you're the kind of person terrorism would think of as an unbiological twin, since you're both insane in the head and can't think of anything but killing people. However, you deserve to be fired out of his canon for your very shitty series. Get a life, get some friends, and stop being a complete douchebag. End your Klonoa Dream Bullet series or just add Sonic in it and make it more gory.
Really? That's it? Because just a moment ago you were asking him to drop everything.
After all, war is what makes things epic. That's why God of War is so amazing and revolutionary.
Bullshit. Because, like I said, by your logic that would make Sonichu the best thing since sliced bread. Gore does not equal good series.
You make all this gore with Agent 1, so why not in your series? Seriously, get some common sense for once in your life and get your head out of your ass. The whole world doesn't revolve around Klonoa.
Then you should know the whole world doesn't revolve around you.
Also, I saw that movie poster for the Klonoa Dream Bullet movie on your DeviantArt. It looks like shit. First of all, Klonoa looks too anime-ish and it doesn't look good. Also, Phone looks like a Fisher-Price toy. Speaking of which, why have you stopped paying attention to the Bone Cousins? You say the Bone graphic novel series is underrated, yet you seem to have forgotten them already. I'm guessing your faggish Klonoa is too good, isn't he? Also, X looks like he belongs in Lucky Star, and what the hell is in the background? It can't be Mewtwo because he looks nothing like that. Also, I read the description and the movie sounds like shit. Again, where's Sonic?
Again, I get a vibe that you think it's shit automatically just because it doesn't have Sonic the Hedgehog in it. Why am I not surprised?
Why can't you just take simple advice from someone like me?
Because one, some of the advice was downright ridiculous, and two, it sounded more like you were ordering or demanding him to make these changes, rather than suggesting them. Do you see the problem here?
Also, why are you making Mewtwo in an MO? Mewtwo doesn't deserve the MO treatment. Also, why are you making a movie now? You only have one episode up right now, so why start a fucking movie? Especially a shitty movie.
A movie you haven't even seen yet?
Honestly, do any of your brain cells even work anymore? Seriously, Realm Wars, you're starting to piss me off. Get back to your roots and make things your fans want. I am sick to death of your complete arrogance. You're starting to remind me of Jonathan the Hedgehog, because you never listen to criticism.
Yet again, look who's talking.
I am done here. Please listen to me this time and we won't have another problem like this. Hey bitches, it's me SonicFan5200 here with my very first commentary.
And this will be my first commentary on a commentary. Won't this be interesting?
This is going to be on a fanboy named Rocket Echidna. I made a response to him in a video before, but it seems he's calling me out personally to back up his argument even more. Which seems pointless, because he could have done it in a video comment before, so I don't know why he needs to back it up furthermore in a video.
He couldn't fit everything he had to say into the comments section. The comments section only lets you have, like, what, 450 letters per comment?
Anyway, let's get on with the shit.
Hey, see this picture on your screen?
Yeah, I do. It looks like shit.
Says the man who has Supersonic with a really poor color palette as his avatar.
You know, it's Sammy, baby.
Baby!
If you don't, then your computer has problems. But for those who do see it, guess what's coming up? Yep, another happy, lovely, lovely rant from Rocket.
So what? Who gives a flying fuck?
The people who are watching it?
Today, it's going to be about the recent videos and conflicts on YouTube involving a particular SonicFan5200.
Yes, because I obviously can't read her video title.
200. You know, the guy with the horrific amateur recolor.
I bet it's better than whatever you could make. Also, at least he isn't like Crazy Time 77. He actually has personality.
I would have asked him to elaborate, but then he probably would have gone on for like a 5-minute tangent on how his recolor character has a personality, so it's probably a good thing that he didn't.
Recolor, and his thoughts on Realm Wars' videos of his fanfiction Klonoa Dream Bullet.
Which still sucks, thank you very much.
Only to you for bullshit reasons.
And how he talks to others about the way they think of particular things, such as what they say to him, etc., etc.
Because they're on.
And that superiority complex is exactly why people are hating you right now.
Now, oh boy, where do I begin?
Here's a better question. When does this end?
Well, as for the Klonoa series thing and Sonic rip-offs, blah 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 blah, I'm not going to beat about the bush. If anyone wants to know about SonicFan5200's videos, links are in the description. I'm not going to show you any of the videos because it's just irritating listening to a computer voice instead of an actual voice, which is just lazy.
Lazy? You're sitting here with a video with only a single image, and you want to say I'm lazy?
You use a single image for this entire commentary.
Hypercorrect. Also, you're saying I'm annoying? Bitch, please.
How is he annoying? How are you not annoying? Elaborate.
Easy, in my opinion. I don't see why people should make videos if they're going to be too shy to actually reveal their proper voices.
Because it's the fucking internet. I don't need to do that stupid shit.
Now, SonicFan5200, listen closely. Why in God's name are we bickering over two fictional characters, Sonic and Klonoa?
Why do you think?
Because Klonoa's a ripoff? Explain.
One is a famous familiar hedgehog, while the other is a less known but still a character that's liked around some parts of the world. Which you consider
And what a shock, you have nothing to back that claim up.
as nothing or a Sonic ripoff.
Because he is.
Because a slightly similar art style totally equals a ripoff, am I right?
You couldn't just say they're particular game characters. One's famous, the other one needs catching up, and had done with it.
Because Klonoa doesn't need to catch up. He needs to stay at the bottom where he is now.
And why does he need to stay at the quote bottom unquote? For all we know, you haven't even played any of his games. So what reason could you possibly have for Klonoa just staying a nobody, as you supposedly think he is, other than thinking he's a Sonic wannabe just because of a similar art style? Are his games broken? Do his plots suck? Can you give us any reason at all?
How would you like it if I told you Sonic Colors was a Mario Galaxy ripoff, eh?
Then I would call you the offspring of Mario Tech Plumber.
Who is still a troll?
Ripoff, eh? Well, it's not necessarily a Mario Galaxy ripoff, but then again, anyone could assume that. SonicFan5200, I can't guarantee I know what you're thinking, but you must be full of questions.
Not as much as you think. Besides, I could answer most of them. Why is this video shit? Because you made it this way. Why is it so long? Because you made it that way. Why is it so boring? Because you made it that way. Why do you sound like a retard? Because you made it that way.
Just insulting somebody without giving any constructive points isn't going to get any people on your side there, buddy.
The only one seeing a pattern here.
Like, why is everyone so mean to me? It definitely isn't the fact that I act like a complete douchebag in front of everyone else, because I am the god of all YouTube.
Oh please. I do not have a god complex. You want to see a god complex, go look at Raushutsu.
Any clips? Screenshots? Private messages? Comments? Anything that could show that Roshatsu has a god complex? Examples, or it's not true. Plus, you can't deny that you have a superiority complex of some kind.
Now, let's be frank here. You make me sick.
Take it outside, nigger.
Oh, wow. You dropped the N-bomb? Dude, you're not going to win a whole lot of people over with that. In fact, you saying that makes me wonder why so many people are hating you right now.
You sicken me. Bickering with Klonoa fans and making harsh, painful comments towards Realm Wars Klonoa fanfiction animation.
And for good reasons.
That no one agrees with and everyone refutes.
I saw the first part. I haven't seen much else of it. It was interesting. It was creative and nicely made.
That's because you're a fanboy.
With a generic no backing refute like that, you might as well have said, "Nuh-uh."
Yes, I know, the plot, the voicing, other things aren't perfect and needs improving if it wants to become professional standards, as it were. But that's how a lot of people start off. Of course, these concepts aren't original, mind-blowing and brilliant like everyone else's favourite movies, but that's how things are. You have to face the fact that this is how people develop. They try to show something that is unique and hasn't been thought of as of yet.
Bullshit. That's no excuse to make a series look like shit. If that's the case, then how come Mario, Zelda, Sonic, and even Naruto started out as groundbreakers? You are so full of shit.
Because the writers and creators already had a lot of experience in doing that kind of stuff under their belt before they made those series? I'm just saying, Realm Wars doesn't have that much experience, so of course he's going to have a couple of problems from the get-go.
Although they use copyrighted characters such as Klonoa and other things.
So it's not original. So you agree with me? Well, wait to contradict yourself.
Dude, you're missing his point entirely. He means something unique and hasn't been thought of yet as terms to fan fiction.
They didn't include Sonic for a reason. Characters like Sonic and other overrated game stars can get boring because people use these kind of concepts already, and things like Klonoa are used just to show something a little different.
You see what I mean? And any kind of skill that you gain from said fanfiction in terms of telling a story can easily transfer over to when you're writing something completely 100% original, such as a novel or a screenplay or whatever.
Again, that's not an excuse. Just make a new story with Sonic.
Dude, he can't just write in Sonic all of a sudden. He'd probably have to drop the entire friggin' plot just to do that. And he's not going to do that just so his series could fit your and only your petty standards. This series was not made for just you.
Just make a new story with Sonic. There you got something new that's never been thought of.
Never been thought of, yeah. You know, other than by Alvin Earthworm, Chakra X, me, and about 20,367 people on fanfiction.net.
I know there's bound to be a few, no, a lot who hate the idea, but there's no need to get angry and start hating the damn thing.
Why not? If I hate something, I have the full right to be angry. Road Wars had me so hyped to see this series and just gave me the fuck you.
Dude, from all that I've gathered here, you just hate this because it doesn't have your precious little Sonic the Hedgehog in it, and because he doesn't want to take your quote-unquote suggestions. They're more like demands. So, that's really your problem, not his.
I think I have the right to be very, very mad.
Dude, what you're doing is overreacting.
Thing because it's Klonoa and not Sonic at all.
How about have Sonic after all? There's a such thing as that.
How about new, you crazy bastard?
You should appreciate how Realm Wars tries something new.
Isn't that forcing your opinion on me?
Look who's talking.
There's nothing positive about that shitty series and it should just burn in hell. It's a shitty series and anybody who thinks it's good is blind and stupid.
But you act like you're a history lesson short and treat the whole matter like it's back in the day where racism was heard everywhere.
What's this have to do with racism? I thought we were talking about Klonoa's Green Bullet. Stay on topic, dipshit.
It's called an analogy.
You treat everything about it like scum. So you make a really negative video about it, saying how everything about it is bad, no positive thoughts whatsoever. The movie sounds like crap, this thing looks like crap, everything I don't like looks like crap.
What's wrong with the truth? Everything I said in all those videos was the absolute truth. You butthurts don't seem to understand it though. Then again, seeing as how stupid butthurts are anyway.
Oh, SonicFan5200, you card. You and your bad habits of treating your opinions as fact. It's just so lovable. Oh, and it's pretentious. Not to mention hypocritical.
And since you make a reputation for saying how everything is bad and all is just impending doom, people comment saying, how do I put it, how hypocritical you are.
How am I being hypocritical? I'm not going against my own preaching.
You keep whining about how people don't respect your opinion, yet you don't respect other people's opinions and just shat on them and just say that your opinions are fact. You see the problem now?
So how the fuck am I the hypocrite? Douchebag.
Hypocrite. I sometimes love Speakonia.
So you go off, then you think you're all Chuck Norris because you can backtalk to people with your petty little insults.
Oh please. Chuck Norris could kick your ass.
Overused memes. Overused memes everywhere.
Hell, you even mentioned me on your videos saying how I killed my argument when comparing one thing to another, and...
Because the example you chose was Avatar of all things. Avatar was such a shitty movie, so why even use it?
I said it before and I'll say it again. Just because you think Avatar is a bad movie does not make his argument invalid. And I am not repeating myself as to why. Just go back to the part of the video where he says it the first time, and you'll hear why.
Come up with a better one next time, dumbass. So here I am, developing my points further.
You could have done that with a text response instead of a video, but whatever. Give me something to comment on.
Not repeating myself here, either.
Trying to look into both perspectives. SonicFan5200's the people against his thoughts, and myself. I'm not sticking up for anyone.
Bullshit.
I like both Klonoa and Sonic. They're both great games. Namco make a little character, and upon their misfortune, they make it a small series, and it turns out to be a lookalike of Tails, basically an extended body part. That's what she...
So you agree he rips off Sonic?
No, he just says he looks similar to Tails. Big difference.
Also, how can it be a misfortune? It was Namco's fault for making the character in the first place. If they didn't make him, then nobody would have this problem.
Said, don't you start!
Too late, retard.
Anyway, next thing that happens, you're mouthing off to everyone saying how they're butthurt fanboys, which is a childish thing to say if you ask me.
Because you are a child?
But seriously, if you overdo it with jokes...
Who's joking? What I said was the truth. You all are being butthurt fanboys of Realm Wars. Someone who is destroying his channel with his sheer ignorance.
Says the kid who's bound to get an ED page if this bullshit keeps up.
And say something outstandingly offensive, then people are going to complain about it.
That's because they know I'm right.
Frankie Boyle all over again.
Who's that?
And apparently, if you don't say anything offensive about people, that makes you a pussy.
Because making fun of people shows you have balls. Get that through your head.
Dude, people make fun of other people all the time. It doesn't take balls to do it. If that was the case, then everyone must have balls because everyone has made fun of somebody at some point or another in their lives. And again, the reason why too many insults are a bad thing in commentaries is because commentaries are meant to help people, not put them down.
I seem to have gone through suspended animation or something because the world is just not what I originally thought it was back in the day.
Because back in the day, Realm Wars didn't suck. However, he does now.
And you seem to be the only person who thinks this. Strange.
Along with that, you tell people how pathetic their lives are. Dude, whose life are you calling pathetic? Look who's talking! I mean...
My life is plenty good. I have a girlfriend. I wrestle, and what do? You make videos about people who hate you. Yeah, my life is pretty pathetic, isn't it?
You have no clue how his life works or what he does, so I wouldn't be making assumptions here, buddy.
You're the one who's treating Sonic like a god, which is a bit of a wannabe thing to do to begin with.
Because he is. Until Pluto and Mario tried to outmatch him.
Whoa! Just a second here. Sonic, a gaming god until Mario can outmatch him? Oh, man. Oh, man. You do realize that if it wasn't for Mario, you wouldn't even have your precious Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Time for a little history lesson. In the video game crash of 1983, video games were down the fucking toilet. They were quickly becoming a passing fad because of poorly made video games like the port of Pac-Man on the Atari 2600 and E.T. As well as there being way too many consoles on the market to choose from, industries and consumers just completely lost faith in the video game industry. Granted, the arcades were still a bit popular, but other than that one crutch, the video game industry was just going the way of the hula hoop. But then a company called Nintendo comes along. And they make a really high-quality console. And what was one of the launch titles of this said console? You guessed it, Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. And a whole lot of other games that were great for the NES brought a lot of confidence back to the consumers. Not only that, but Nintendo itself did a lot to help correct most of the problems that caused the video game crash of '83 in the first place. So we see already that Mario has done a whole lot more to the video game industry than Sonic has and probably ever could do. Now, compare that to today's world, where Sega keeps making terrible Sonic game after terrible Sonic game. Not to mention the franchise receiving a reputation for having a downright insane fan base. Sega constantly getting accused of copying something from either Mario or something else from Nintendo every time they release a new Sonic game, while Nintendo, on the other hand, gets hardly any negativity in the reviews that it gets every time it makes a new Mario game. So, Sonic being a god until Mario can outmatch him? I don't think so.
Everything that involves Sonic or violence is revolutionary to you. Another common thought from the people of the world today.
Because extreme violence is cool to watch.
And as for telling someone to get a life and some friends, I'm pretty damn sure they're way ahead of you.
Yeah, Realm Wars has a life. All he does is sits in his room making cartoons and does Nordic skiing, cross-country, and track. Yeah, he has a fucking life alright.
Wait, did you just say Realm Wars does skiing and cross-country? You do realize that you just destroyed your entire argument right there. Not that it was strong to begin with, but still. Cross-country And skiing take up a lot of time in a person's life because there's training involved for cross country. You know that, right? And since both sports involve more than one person, I'm sure he's gained plenty of friends from both hobbies. You make a ridiculous contradiction like that, and you are wondering why people think you're stupid? Really?
In fact, a lot of people who say that are usually hiding the blatant fact that they suffer the same problem of getting a life and friends.
I have a life. I play football and wrestle. What's Realm Wars got that's better than me? Nothing. In fact, I could kick his ass any day. Just bring that cunt from my school and my buddies would beat the living shit out of him. No more Realm Wars, right?
I'm calling bullshit. Petty threats like that will never be taken seriously on the internet.
In fact, a lot of people who say that are usually hiding the blatant fact that they suffer the same problem of getting a life and friends.
No, I'm not.
Yes, the world doesn't revolve around Klonoa. Notice how I'm respecting your opinion, SonicFan5200, when you're not respecting others. Not very fair, is it?
Life's not fair, get used to it.
And at the same time, the world doesn't revolve around Sonic, so for God's sake, quit your whining!
You're right. The world doesn't revolve around Sonic, but morely Sonic revolves around the world. Didn't see that coming, did you?
Why should I show positive comments, you ask? Well, so we know that you're not 100% pessimistic and constantly looking at the dark side of things all day, every day.
Who said anything about looking at the dark side? Why can't I have anything negative to say?
He's not saying that you can't say anything negative. He's saying that you should say something positive about the series so you don't look incredibly biased. There's a difference.
I know why. Because you're butthurt.
The equivalent of saying, no you.
I've heard Simon Cowell and Dragon's Den give better comments
Who's
than you,
that?
and believe me, they are rather hard to please most of the time. You, on the other hand, are something else. God, if anything, I've learned this. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Then why are you making this video, dipshit?
Because he's trying to help you, not put you down.
And after saying that, you're thinking, you're contradicting yourself, you killed your argument, ha 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 ha, you just said something that isn't nice. Well, that's another thing, you jump to conclusions too much.
Oh, really? Give me an example.
How about your biggest reason of why Klonoa Dream Bullet sucks? Sonic's not in it. Must automatically mean it sucks, right?
Then you say, take my advice, get this through your thick heads. Taking advice from someone like you is rather hard to do if you ridicule others like that, without giving others a bit of equal authority.
Because Realm Wars' head is the most thickest to get anything through. He can't take 1 ounce of criticism without shrugging people off. Because he's a cunt like that.
Examples other from this incident, or it's not true.
Treat others like crap, and then of course nobody's going to listen to you. Because you're so hard to believe. You can't control people over what they do, so nagging, insulting others and make a video about it.
Again, it's because they're butthurt.
Please come up with something better and more constructive to say. We're getting kind of tired of hearing that.
It's not going to change that, and when you think about it, this video probably won't change your thoughts either, SonicFan5200, because...
Of course. So you're just wasting the time you could be watching porn for making a pointless and shitty video.
a lot of people out there, including you, are ignorant.
I'm ignorant. Yet you're saying I need to back off from Realm Wars? He's the most ignorant guy I've ever seen.
Only to you.
They fight back, just so they can get on others' nerves, so they can rise for the bait. I'm making a video, not because of that. I'm not rising for the bait, because I believe it's right to show what I want to stand up to this guy and tell him, dude, lay off. People like what they like. If you've got a problem about it, tell someone who cares. And if you've got a tough crowd, don't worsen the uproar, so to speak.
Worsen? PH, please. The only one worse in the situation is the butthurt fanboys such as yourself.
You're the one who keeps responding to all these, quote, butthurt fanboys, unquote. If they're so butthurt and if they're so wrong, then why don't you just ignore them? Because clearly you think you're right in the entire situation.
Next there's, I wish you guys would stop pissing me off, yada yada yada. We're pissing you off, you say. Tell us about it. You're complaining just as much as anybody else, which is pretty ironic.
No, I'm not. You're the ones throwing this bitch shit over my videos.
Yes. Yes, you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made this video, and you wouldn't have made that other video where you supposedly killed Klonoa and Realm Wars. You're the one who's reacting the most to the very bitch fit that you started.
I'm keeping calm, collected, and not doing the following.
I hate the game! Go cut down! I'm gonna slash things around the room! I'm gonna make myself into an emo! I'm gonna smash my knuckles till they bleed on the wall! I hate life!
Was that supposed to be funny? Because I can tell you for a fact that it wasn't.
He was basically making fun of you and your overreactions to the whole thing.
We do listen to criticism as well. Well, most of us. Not the people who find it hard to handle. I like taking criticism. Without criticism, how the hell can you improve?
Oh, your own? Seriously, who says you need criticism, you'll improve? Just use a little thing in your head called common sense.
And if you used common sense, you would know without criticism, people won't be able to learn from their mistakes. People would have nothing to build on. People would have nothing to work with to better their work and themselves. So yes, by all means, people do need criticism. It's what helps make people great.
I don't think I've stressed this enough, but your criticism, SonicFan5200, is so overwhelmingly destructive.
Oh, shit.
So, what's the right word? Bitchy.
Just like you. Retard.
You take a habit of hating others who like something you don't. Why hate people just because they like something?
Because they're on.
Because you totally matter in what makes a series good or not, don't you, Mr. Fucking Know-It-All?
You might say, because it looks gay, which is pathetic because you wouldn't say something racist, and I pray to God that making fun of homosexuals and bisexuals and all that becomes illegal. Then we'd see who's laughing. I'm certain people making fun of you for what you like. You're making a trivial matter into a war. It's ridiculous.
You know what's really ridiculous? Butthurt fanboys. That's ridiculous.
You've said butthurt fanboy so many times I might as well have started a drinking game when this video started. Seriously, it's more or less the only argument you've used in this entire video.
You can't even accept the fact that people are against you and progressively outnumbering you.
Outnumber? Doesn't matter if there's 50 of them, I can still make them cry.
Face it, no matter how many harsh videos you make to these people, you'll only make matters worse.
Don't you mean better? It's only one of these days until that retard Realm Wars actually thinks about what I am trying to say to him and actually understand its meaning. Try thinking of things like that.
He does. So does everyone else. And we all think that it's outlandish and downright ridiculous.
I'm not defending anything like the Klonoa series,
Bullshit.
and I'm sure as hell not a butthurt fan.
Oh yes, you are!
To me, that's a bold overstatement. I know a lot of friends who hate Klonoa, but that doesn't break any friendships at all. No. I'm making this vid and saying all this because I might as well show some backbone.
What backbone? You have none, you stingless little jellyfish.
You're cold, selfish, inconsiderate, and, well, downright irritating, and you take silly problems out on people.
So do you.
No, he's not. He's just making a video showing how stupid you're being and why.
With little means of justifying the situation. Hell, I bet you're watching this, and the only way to fight back against me is by putting me on your list of hated users that you don't want others to subscribe to.
Thanks for the idea. While you are so retarded, aren't you UK people supposed to be intelligent? Guess all those T's and crumpets are getting to your head.
And another racial insult. Bravo. Bravo. And seriously, what good is it to put him on that little list of yours? Especially since he's responding to you in a much more civil and kind way than a whole lot of other ranters out there that I know of. Compared to you, who has done nothing but just piss and whine and moan and insult anybody who criticizes you.
That makes little difference. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, and being a YouTube partner is way out of my league. No concern to me whatsoever. As long as I get this off my chest, I'm happy.
Quit lying. You want to be a YouTube partner and you know it.
Well, let's be honest, who doesn't want to get paid for posting videos on YouTube?
So, if you have the time, the heart, and the common sense, despite you telling us to have common sense, Look at the videos people have made about you.
I have, and they're all shit. It's the same retarded things over and over again.
Kinda like how you keep saying that we're all butthurt fanboys, am I right?
Notice what you said. Do you realize why so many people hate you?
Because they are butthurt retards who can't handle an ounce of truth.
Thank you for once again proving my point.
Because you think their opinion is inferior to yours.
Because it is. A right opinion is better than a wrong opinion. Get that through your head now.
There's a huge frickin' difference between opinions and facts, and what you're doing is treating your opinions as if they are facts, which is not the case. Again, I have to state, this superiority complex of yours is one of the many, many reasons why a lot of people are hating you right now. You're so fucking full of yourself because you think everything you say is just automatically right.
That's not true. Not true in the slightest. I don't care if you think my video is so long that it's gonna...
You know what, since this video ends here, I'm going to end this commentary. This guy is so incredibly retarded and butthurt he can't even see it. Oh,
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
well, give him more reason to be hated. Well, that's all I have for today, and I hope you guys have learned something today. Hey guys, SonicFan5200 here. This new video is on a couple of more responses to certain questions by people.
That's right. He's still not over the whole issue with Realm Wars and Klonoa.
Some of you guys say things like I probably haven't played the Klonoa games. Actually, yes I have. I played Klonoa for the Wii and hated it. Seriously, it was such a terrible game. Especially since Secret Rings and Black Knight were much better.
Okay, care to elaborate as to why you hated Klonoa for the Wii? You can't just say something is bad without explaining why. It doesn't really work that way. Oh, and by the way, check out these review scores that I got from Wikipedia on Klonoa for the Wii, Sonic and the Black Knight, and Sonic and the Secret Rings. Here's the average reviews for Klonoa Wii as listed on its Wikipedia page. Here's Sonic and the Secret Rings. And Sonic and the Black Knight. And if you do the math, you'll see that Klonoa Wii has better average reviews than Sonic and the Secret Rings and Black Knight. So, that means, at least from a professional critic standpoint, Klonoa wins.
Rehashing the same crap over and over again doesn't make a game good at all.
Rehashing stuff in games can hurt the game if done too much, but there's an old saying that goes, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
After that game I gave up on playing any of the other ones because they looked like they would only get worse.
Again, care to elaborate why? I mean, seriously, this is the ironic part about your video. Your video was titled Backing Myself Up, or something like that, yet you don't back up any of the points that you present in this video. You can't just say something's bad or something looks like it's going to be bad without saying why. It doesn't work that way. At least when people do commentaries on you, they explain why they don't like you or why they disagree with you. Elaborate, man. Elaborate, damn you!
Seriously, why do you guys assume this shit just because I hate something?
Because you keep saying that Klonoa is a ripoff of Sonic, and I've watched a lot of gameplay footage of Klonoa Wii, and honestly, other than Sonic and Klonoa being anthros, and the fact that both of their games are platformers, I see no similarity between the two. Seriously, look at the gameplay footage from Sonic Adventure 2 and Klonoa for the Wii. By your logic, Mario, Mega Man, Kid Icarus, A Boy and His Blob, and many other games out there should automatically be considered Sonic ripoffs just because they're platformers.
Am I not allowed to hate something? If so, that's incredibly biased of you guys.
We're not saying you're not allowed to hate something. No. We're saying that the reasons why you hate something is complete and utter bullshit. You see, there's a huge difference there. If you had stated some legit reasons of not liking Klonoa, you wouldn't be getting this kind of crap. But all we keep hearing from you is that Klonoa is a Sonic ripoff, which by just looking at the gameplay can show that that is not true in the slightest. Not to mention the storylines and the weapons used and the methods to kill the enemies. None of that reminds me of Sonic, at all.
Especially since most of you are awards fanboys.
The fanboy card didn't work the first time, it didn't work the second time, it didn't work the third time, so what makes you think it'll work now?
I honestly don't understand why there has to be so many idiots in this world. You don't see me going up to Mario fans and saying they're idiots for liking Mario and not Sonic, do you?
You might as well be.
Seriously, this is getting absolutely bullshit. Get that through your heads now. I'm sick and tired of all of you guys being completely arrogant and hypocritical all the time.
How are we being hypocritical? Care to elaborate on that? And by the way, we've proven time and time again that you're the hypocritical one here. So you of all people have absolutely no right to tell people that they're the ones being hypocritical.
Every time I say something, there's always some other attention war making a video on me saying how I'm being idiotic.
Because every time you make a butthurt response such as this, people are going to call you out for it. And it's going to stay that way until you man up, swallow your pride, start taking people's advice, admit you made a mistake, and just drop the entire issue.
How come you don't call out people like Random DCE for hating Scott Pilgrim then? How come you don't call out on Big Al for hating Naruto? Especially since Naruto is the best anime ever made.
Because unlike you, they give legitimate and sound reasons of not liking the stuff that they don't like. And by the way, DCE has been called out on not liking something popular before. Don't believe me? Look at Dark Angel of the Light's commentary on Random DCE's Handy Dandy Guide on Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, and not to mention a commentary on his Handy Dandy Guide on RPGs.
Why not bash them for hating those things, but bash me for hating Klonoa? Is it because you can't handle what I have to say? Tough luck. I stick by with what I say, and if you can't accept that, then you can just burn in hell.
Well, then you better accept the fact that if you keep this up and going, commentators like me are just going to keep pointing out your bullshit.
I'm sick and tired of this bullshit you guys keep force-feeding me. I'm here to make videos. Well, I guess that's all I got for today. This is SonicFan5200 saying goodbye.